Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Angela. Today is October 19th, 2024. I've been seeing a couple different tags going around and I thought, nah, nah, nah. And then people just keep doing them. So I'm like, fine, I'll do them. You twisted my arm, but this one is, I think it was by LarkandLegend originally. I think it was somebody said it was in a live at some point. I don't know. I will make it right below in the description. I'll add their link. But I've seen a couple other people with it. But it's 8 prompts, and it's basically hashtag Twilight Tarot tropes or something like that. I'll make that right also when I do the video. There's 8 quotes from the Twilight movies. And then there's a little adage added onto that in relation to your tarot decks or oracle or whatever you want to do. But I did 8 tarot decks. So without further ado and without further ramble, let's get into this. So the first one is, Bella, where the hell have you been, Loca? A deck you've neglected of late. And that would be, never thought I would do this. It's in a kitty cat bag. This is the Soul Cats Tarot. By Llewellyn. The artwork is by Adam Ohlers. We all know and love him from Three Trees Tarot. I edged it in this blue. I was trying to get like a wintry blue, but it didn't come out that way. I freaking adore this deck. I adore it so much that when my cat ruined the first copy, I had to go buy a second copy. This is a Llewellyn deck. I don't know if I said that or not. And my brain doesn't work right most of the time anymore. So, but you can tell just by the art that it is Adam Ohlers' artwork. And I will buy anything he has. Sorry. It's going to happen. I have all of Three Tree Tarot's other decks. This one, if you can't afford any of the indie decks, this is a great, it's like $24 on Amazon, or Llewellyn's website. And it's beautiful. You're still getting Adam Ohlers' art, and I think it's fabulous. And when I first got this, I probably used this in a consecutive time frame more than any deck I've ever owned. I adore this deck so hard, to the point where when I finally got the Grimalkin's Curious Cat Tarot, the mass market, look at that hermit, stunning, mass market edition, I still haven't really used it, because when I reach for a cat deck, this is the deck I reach for. I only have the 2, but this, I haven't used it at all this year, and I'm like, why? Look at the little hedgehog on her chair, the Empress chair. I mean, come on. So stunning. So beautiful. Oh, look at that. The 10 of Wands. He put his work down. This is probably one of the first decks I ever saw where instead of carrying his heavy burden, he's laid it down and he's taking a break. And I'm like, right. Nobody ever said you couldn't sit it down and take a break. Like, that's genius. I love it. But yeah, this is a gorgeous deck. I read with this so much when I first got it. The year before last? Yeah. And I haven't really used it this year at all. Like, I don't think I have. I maybe showed it off, but I haven't used it. I'm like, why? And I feel like this is an all-around year deck. It does feel like more fall to me and into winter. So, especially this 5 of Pentacles is a total winter deck, or a card. I don't know why there's sticky something right there. That's weird. I don't feel it, but it was sticking. Gorgeous card. Gorgeous deck. I love it to pieces. It's probably is one of my top 10 favorite decks ever. So, the fact that I haven't used it this year kind of irritates me. But that is the Soul Cats Tarot. Number 1. Number 2. Let me find it here. This is the Skin of a Killer, Bella. A deck. This is the Skin of a Killer, Bella. A deck with bling of some sort or a flashy art. My cat is literally right. Oh, he jumped off. He walked in and just jumped off. Sorry, you missed him. It's a deck with bling or some sort of flashy art, and this could have also been the deck that this could have also been a number one also, but it is the Ethereal Visions Tarot, the Luna edition. And as you can see, there's a lot of bling just on the outside. This is a US Games deck. I love this deck. I just never really reach for it. It's about their typical size. I love the backs. Yeah. It's a little bit bigger than regular tarot size, what you would think of. But every card has this blingy border. And anytime I think of bling, I think of this deck. It's very, I love that death card. Again, it's very, to me, RWS deck. And see, it's still very stiff because I haven't really used it. I don't know why. Look how beautiful that is. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Look. It's gorgeous. Gorgeous. Gorgeous deck. It's lots of bling. Lots and lots of bling on this deck. That's cool there. I don't really particularly care for the cardstock. It's almost like cardboard, which is not typical for US games. I love that. Queen of Cups. Look at that. Look at that. And her green hair. Oh, and the seahorses. Stunning. Look at that. The star. Gorgeous. It's a gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous deck. I just never use it. I don't know why. I had to have it when I saw it. I don't like the original. And then when this came out, I'm like, I need it. I need it in my life. And I never use it. It is stunning. It's gorgeous. I love all the bling in it. Look at that hermit. Look at the greenery there. That's so stunning. They did a fabulous, beautiful job on this deck. I love that. Native American, the King of Swords. Love that. The High Priestess. This is what the original looks like on the box. Gorgeous. Gorgeous. Yeah. It's a beautiful deck. I just, like I said, I never reach for it. I don't know why. Maybe I should, if this video has prompted me to pull out those decks. So far, I want to use both of those two decks. Number 3, hold on tight, Spider Monkey. A deck that has carried you through hard times. And this will forever be number 1 when this kind of question is asked. Because it's my light series. It's my baby. It's the deck that, it's by Hay House. It's the deck that, if I had to get rid of all my decks, I would not part with this deck. This is my soul deck. I love the cardstock. I love I colored it in teal right there to match the box. This is the deck I pulled out during COVID when I was jobless and listless and not knowing what was going to happen. Anytime I have a really bad time, this is the deck that I pull out. And it gives it to me straight, but in a loving way. And everybody has this deck or seen this deck or knows what this deck's all about. They know I speak the truth when I say it's a fabulous all-around beautiful deck. And I have no more words. This is, like I said, the friend that we could be parted for months at a time. I could come back to it and we pick up the conversation right where we left off. And that has always been true with this deck. I see a lot of myself in this deck, which is probably why it is my number 1 deck ever. And the deck that anytime I have any kind of hard times, it's the deck I reach for. So that is the Light Seers Tarot for number 3. Number 4, Original Renesmee, a deck that's hard on the eyes, but you love anyway. A deck with really unnerving imagery. And you're going to be like, what? I had a hard time with this prompt. I have some decks with unnerving imagery, but I also don't like those decks. This is the Tarot of the Secret Forest. This is a Low Scarabeo Tarot. The lid is gone. The box is crap. But I've used the living crap out of this deck. I etched it in black. It's the typical tuck box Low Scarabeo cardstock and smaller deck. It has black and white on the backs, colored on the fronts. Some of these images are very religious to me, which is unnerving in and of itself. I don't know why. It just is for me. I adore this deck, but it also can be very dark. And I've told the story about the Six of Swords many times. This reminds me of the Burning Bush. I don't know why. It just does. There's so many cards in here that I associate with stories that are in the Bible, and I'm like, I don't understand that. It's dark fairies, and the Six of Swords. I talk about it. There it is. The Six of Swords is the card that scared the crap out of me because I did a mediumship tarot spread for somebody. One of the first mediumship spreads I did for somebody, and this imagery popped up, and it was kind of like the same image that I had in a clairvoyant vision of this guy and his missing boat and where it was located. And it freaked me out so bad that I'm like, nope. And I put this deck away and didn't pick up another deck, period, for like 6 months. This is why this is my creep factor deck right here. Because it will hit you hard, but it also never lies to you. It will always give you the truth. No matter if you're speaking to the dead, if you're speaking for yourself, it will always give you the harsh truth. And no matter how, it's not polite about it. It's very blunt. And that in and of itself makes this deck a creepy deck for me. Because it's never wavering on its truthfulness. What deck? Deck with really, and the imagery sometimes it creeps me out. This one, look at him with the hair. I don't understand what's happening there. But yeah, and then the black and white sides are even creepier sometimes. Very creepy. But I do love this deck. It is one of my 2 favorite decks I use for shadow work because it's going to give it to me straight. And, yeah, the box is crap. I put them in a bag, but it needs its own little bag to be made for real. Oh my gosh, we have so many more decks. 4 more. Number 5. Every second I'm with you is about restraint, and you are too fragile a deck. And you're too fragile. It's a deck that you are afraid to use because it's so damn flimsy. And I have here, I made a huge pouch for it, the indie version of the Unfolding Path Tarot. I do not like the cardstock. It shuffles amazing, but I feel like any moment I'm going to tear it. And I paid way too much for this to rip it. That's why when the mass market version came out, I was so happy, from Hay House. Because I bought it and I use it all the time. This is kind of retired because the cardstock, I mean, I like the feel of it. It's just when I'm riffle shuffling, because I am a riffle shuffler, I feel like I'm going to rip the deck. And for that reason alone, I bought the mass market version. And I was kind of pissed at this deck for a minute in 3 of Swords. Of course, it was turned around. Because when I bought this, I bought it later than, like they advertised they were almost out of the copies and it was gone forever. And I'm like, oh my gosh. And then I won a gift card from work. I spent $70 something on this deck. And then it literally came out like weeks later, mass market. And I was pissed because they didn't tell anybody that this deck was coming out mass market. They just let me purchase the indie version for $70 plus. And then it was $20 on Amazon for the mass market deck weeks later. So kind of pissed at this deck for a while. But this is a deck, this is the only deck in my collection that I don't use because of the cardstock, because I'm afraid I'm going to rip it. And it was too expensive for me to rip it. So, for that reason, it does not get used. It's in kind of retirement now that I have the mass market version, which I use quite often. So I did get over the whole mass market indie thing. Next, that was number 5. And it's a beautiful deck. I love that. Reminds me, gives me a lot of the same vibes as my Light Seers, actually. Number 6, you nickname my daughter after the Loch Ness Monster. A deck with an unusual or unfortunate name. And I bought this deck not knowing, because I'm old, that 420 means it's a pot deck. I just saw it laying out in my local metaphysical shop. It's an indie deck. It's got a little thing here. I saw it laying out like this at my local metaphysical shop, and I looked through it, and all I saw was a pretty pink and green. I'm like, oh, that's cute. And then, oh my gosh, my cat. And then I bought it. Mind you, I don't use this deck simply because it is a pot deck. It has an unfortunate name, but it's also unfortunate in that everything, I get that it's a pot deck, but it could have been scaled back a little bit. I can't get past the fact that there's pot or they're high or something in every single card. I can't look past the 420 part of it to see if it's a viable deck or not. So it's a deck that I've got in the mail. I did a walkthrough and I'm like, no, I'm not going to use this. Even though I think it's beautiful. I love the colors in it. Even though it's limited colors, I still love it. I just can't get past there's so much. It's like, it's like a song that comes out and it just plays over and over and over and over and over ad nauseum, and you're like, shut up! That's what this deck feels like. Is that song that's been played so much that you're sick of it. And my cat just keeps knocking stuff over. And this Hermit creeps me out because all you see is the butt from the joint. But the 420 Tarot, that's unfortunate name. I mean, it's it goes with the deck, but at the same time, I don't like it. So, 2 more to go. See if I can get through it without my cat knocking more stuff off the table. Number 7, the fetus isn't good for Bella. A deck with an ugly baby on it, at least one card, or a deck with the ugliest baby you've ever seen. And I'm going to tell y'all, if you guys don't have this deck, it's the only deck I thought of. And it's appropriate for this time of year. It's a Zombie Tarot. I have, I'm sure, decks with an ugly baby in it. I'm looking at the Garbage Pail Kids right now, and it's probably got more than one ugly baby in it. But love this deck. I love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. The Zombie Tarot is the deck that makes me laugh when I'm in a bad mood and I want to laugh or pick up my spirits. I pull this deck out, and it's just so hilarious. Don't know why I think it's hilarious. Maybe it's my warped sense of humor that thinks this deck is fabulous. But I love it to pieces. 2 pieces. I love the 50 style of it. I love the book. I love that Wheel of Fortune. It's fabulous. 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 Look at the little kid here. Little boy, zombie. Thinking I'm doing the mail. I love it. And it has, of course, the Page of Wands is an ugly baby eating on a human femur. At least I think that's a femur here. It could be. Anyway. But that is the deck I chose just because we all know anybody that has this deck and probably seen this prompt immediately thought of the Zombie Tarot because of this guy. It's super cute though. But yeah, that's the creepy baby. Now I'm waiting on somebody to come out with a deck that has a little girl ghost that's like long haired and red eyes. That's creepy. Anyway, last one is you imprinted on my daughter a deck that was a love at first sight. And I've said this many, many times. It is the Stretch Tarot. This is the Make Playing Cards version. I have the original. Well, I have the second edition of the first copy. Not a second edition. They just changed the box. But this one is on Make Playing Cards. You can go to here, stretchtarot.com, to look at J.E. Stretch's work and other works. I don't like the linen cardstock on this, but I like it better than my other copy because it's non-shuffleable. I love that there's, it's upside down. I love that there's keywords on the deck. I watched I watched Nina from Shuffle Tarot do a past life reading with this deck before, and when I watched her, it had been 2 years since she had done the video. And before she was done with the tarot spread that she was doing with this deck, I paused the video, went and found the deck, bought it, and then came back to the video. And I had never done that before with the deck. Because in my mind, and it was just around a time that I was like, I need to find a deck that's perfect for past life work. And at the time, that's the mindset I was going for. And I found this deck and then the Tarot for Past Lives. It's literally like the moment I asked the universe, I need a deck for past lives, it brought both of these decks into my life at the same month. At the same time, I think I've got them within days of each other. And I'm like, this is literally, I feel like, and even though this deck had been out way longer than I knew it existed, at least 3 years it had been out. Maybe longer. I think it's 2016. And I just saw this like 4 years ago, 2020, 2021 maybe, is when I saw this. And so it's been several years since this deck's been out. And I had no idea it existed. And then the second I voiced, I need a past life tarot deck, this deck showed itself to me. And it's almost like J.E. Stretch knew exactly what to put on a card for specifically me in a tarot deck for past life work. I can't explain it. It was literally this instant connection. I'm like, oh yes, that's the deck I've been looking for. And I bought it, and I even use it more than the Tarot for Past Lives, which that deck is geared for past life work. I still reach for this one before I reach for that. And then I also now have the Pensive Path, which to me is another version of this deck. They both are used for past life work. But this was one of two, I think I've only had maybe 4 decks that I've started watching a walkthrough and never got through the walkthrough before I went and bought the deck. This was the first one ever. And I've not regretted it. I adore this deck. It's in my top 5 tarot decks ever. It's probably number 4. I go back and forth between this and the Journey of the Sacred Bee as 4 and 5. They go back and forth between each other, but they're in my top 5. But anyway, that is the tarot prompts for hashtag Twilight Tarot Tropes. I'm pretty sure it's the name of the tag. I will make it right in the comments below. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, don't hesitate to comment below. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up. If you want to see more, please subscribe. And don't forget to hit that notification button so you're alerted to any future videos. And y'all have a good afternoon. Bye.